and welcome to We the People. How hard should it be to get a divorce? How much right should legislation, the law, the institution of the state have a right to be in your bedroom mediating the relationship of a marriage? A new controversy has erupted after several new interesting amendments have been proposed to the marriage laws in this country. Among them, that irretrievable breakdown should be a cause for divorce. The BJP and many of the left parties objected to this, saying that this clause should not be allowed unless women are also given 50% right to marital property that was acquired during the course of the marriage. And now there is another proposal that women should even have the right to a share of their ex-husband's inherited property. These are proposals that have divided public opinion. Many men, of course, are arguing that this is a law that is slanted against them. Women are saying that the reality of an unequal society is perhaps for a while you do need laws that are slanted against men. But where does individual liberty to make a personal choice coincide with the larger principles that some of these amendments are trying to uphold? Let me start with a personal story. Pooja Bedi, we know you from our TV screens, from our film screens. You have also spoken quite candidly about your own divorce. A lot of women and men don't actually find it easy to do that. They don't find it easy to come on TV and talk about it because we still remain, although things are changing, a society that can stigmatize somebody who's been through a divorce. It's insane, but it happens. Now, there are many women, and I have raised these questions among them, who would say, if you are economically self-reliant, why monetize a relationship? What was your experience?
Barkha, I met my ex-husband when I was 20 years old. I was earning very well for myself. I had a fantastic life. I was traveling business class. I could afford myself every luxury. I got married to Farhan, who insisted I give up my career, as most men in India tend to do, saying, sit at home, take care of the home, the babies, and if you have to work,
why did you say yes?
You will help me with...
Why did you say yes?
Because he had a lot of
I just want to understand why somebody like you...
He had a lot of insecurities and apprehensions about the field of work I was in, the industry, basically all the rumors, the gossip mills, the link-ups, etc., etc. In all fairness, I married him at 20, I divorced at 32. During the course of those 12 years, I helped him from inception to success set up a furniture store, a highly reputed furniture store called Furniture Wala. Now, I helped him with production, with sales, with delivery, with client handling, with marketing, promotions, and it built into a mega store. When I got divorced, I got nothing, zero, because here's the perfect wife who sits at home, takes care of the kids, is a fantastic wife. She helps you in your work. She's loyal, she's honest, she's great, she's wonderful. You don't want to let her go, but the marriage is terrible. Maybe the husband is really not the one you want to spend the rest of your life with. I don't want to badmouth him here. I just want to talk about the inequality of things.
Was it a mutual decision to get divorced, or was it yours?
Well, we wanted to, I wanted to be divorced. We gave it another chunk of time to basically think things through and work out things. It was irretrievable. It was an irreparable breakdown of marriage. And I had 2 children. And at the end of it, I walked out with nothing. I had a fantastic lawyer, Mahesh Jethmalani, and he said, Pooja, the laws in this country do not support you. At the end of the day, you will be in an arduous court battle for years on end. And God knows what to get out of it. And I thought to myself, here I will be fighting for money, and my children will end up resenting their father. It'll be a public spectacle given the fact, I'm a celebrity. I just don't want to go down that road. I know I can do it on my own. And of course, there were lots of people who turned and said, Pooja, you're in your 30s, you've got 2 kids. It'll be that much more difficult for you to get back. What are your life skills at this point of time? Because I had no more life skills over those 12 years that had been developed.
So you didn't go to court at all to ask for alimony?
I asked him, but he said no. He said, I'm happy to have you stay, but if you want to go, you can go without anything. So that was my choice. And I just said, I want to be happy. I don't care if I'm poor, but I just want to wake up and sleep happy.
And who did the looking after for the children?
I did.
Entirely on your own?
No, he did say that he would take care of the children financially. He gave money, not enough perhaps to take care of all their needs, but he certainly put out money towards them. I got nothing. And I started off writing columns with Midday for 4,000 rupees per column, terrified as to how I would afford anything for myself. I had a little bit of inheritance given to me by my mother. My father didn't put a penny towards my marriage. He didn't put a penny towards my divorce, didn't help me at all. And I started because the important thing was to get on my feet and get somewhere. luck favors the brave. It favored me. Within a year and a half, I was driving the same Mercedes car as my ex-husband. I bought myself properties. I bought myself a much grander life than I actually had during the time I was married.
Kirti, picking up on that last point, of course, there are privileges of class, privileges of education, privileges of opportunity that some of us have here that the vast majority of women in this country do not have. There are questions and dilemmas that arise as to how much space you should allow the state into the institution of marriage. And the worry that a lot of people, even those who champion women's rights, would have in this is why oppose irretrievable breakdown of marriage as a cause for two people to, or even one person to walk out of a relationship. Should she be imprisoned into a marriage that she doesn't want to stay in, hypothetically speaking, because she can't find any of the other 7 reasons, which are adultery, cheating, conversion to religion, disappearing for 7 years, a venal form of leprosy, desertion, whatever. I mean, as adults, should this not be a freer choice? Why have the left and the right opposed a breakdown of marriage as a cause for divorce?
Well, I don't think the left has opposed breakdown of marriage as a ground for divorce per se. I mean, I don't think women who are working with other women will also oppose the ground because of issues of personal liberty. And as you said, nobody should be tied down to a person they don't want to.
Yeah.
Having said that, what happens today is that women in India don't have an option. They do not have an option to walk out of a marriage because we have seen, I've done a survey, 95% of them do not have a place to go to. They cannot, they are often left, more than 80% are left with their children.
Yeah.
There's a sharp fall of over 50, 70%. They can't regain that fall, unlike Pooja, who was, who had certain talents. They cannot make up. And so they live a lifestyle which is like, 70-80% below the lifestyle that they were living. They are dependent on their parents. And this is a reality that we have to take into account. Also, we have to see that it's not a question of money. It's a question of a right. A woman should have an equal right. Whether her contribution is financial or non-financial, she is primarily the caretaker of the house and looks after the children, the elderly, even working women, we find, are really looking after the children. Why shouldn't she have half of whatever
but
the parties have?
Is there a distinction in pushing a man to provide more for the children and a distinction in the woman also wanting the same lifestyle, which is one of the references that courts often follow? And I ask this because I think that I can't shake off this feeling personally that if I was in a relationship and therefore with another person be able to enjoy X lifestyle and then on my own it became Y lifestyle, I just say, fine, this is how much I can afford, it's okay.
Well, only if you don't have the feeling that, look, I've given my best, I've lost, say, 20 years of my life, I am not going to be able to make this up, how will my children live? If you don't have that feeling, fine, there will be individual women who will think like that. There will be women who are capable of doing, say, what Pooja has done.
Yeah.
But there will be, the vast majority, I say, will not be. And we should really look at them. There should be an economic valuation, and I don't mean it in a negative sense, their housework, their contribution to the house. Why should their contribution not be recognized? Why shouldn't it be recognized that they are, their children's primary parents? Most mothers are. Yet in this country, they are neither the natural guardian, under all the personal laws, nor are they given special benefits.
Okay, Mukul Rothki, coming in both as a legal perspective and somebody who is a lawyer in a very interesting case. We had the Smriti Shinde case where your client actually went to the Supreme Court, all the way to the Supreme Court. She wanted to get out of her marriage, and the initial consent by her former husband to have it be a mutual consent turned into a contested plea. And the courts along the way said, patch up. She said, no, I don't want to be with this man, change the rules. Why is divorce so difficult?
As a lawyer, I have seen hundreds of these cases in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
And as a lawyer, I want to concentrate on the amendment which is proposed, rather than larger issues of, compensating somebody who spent half a life bringing up children and all that. See, I have a difficulty. I mean, I am all for irretrievable breakdown because you cannot bind two people together where the bond is dead.
Yes.
But first, let us understand that divorces are a phenomena of the urban, the metropolitan, the semi-urban, much less in the villages. But when you apply this law, it's going to be all across the country.
Yeah.
Now first let us talk about a matrimonial home. You say divide half a matrimonial home as you have in the US. In the US, most people individually own houses or flats.
Yeah.
In this country, 3 brothers get together and purchase a flat jointly and pay an installment.
Yeah.
They have 3 wives, 3 brothers. Their parents move in who are 80 years of age. One man, one wife has a dispute. You can't now divide one flat into 3. Suppose all 3 have a problem. So it's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 in a given case.
Yeah.
So they are divided, the 3 spouses get it,
Yeah.
where do the parents go? Take a case, you have a 5-bedroom flat, 3 generations living, all married. So you have 8 people living in 8 bedrooms or 6 bedrooms with 8 people. How will you divide? Division is partition. Partition can only be done either by consent or by legal degree. It's going to take 20 years to have a partition.
Yeah.
If you are going to include inherited wealth, most of the agricultural lands in this country are inherited. They come from Dada, Pusht. How are you going to divide that? And if you are going to divide that, you are locking that couple in order to compensate somebody, which I think compensation must be very handsome. But in order to compensate, if you are going to get stuck in this, I am sorry, the legal system in this country is going to take you down, it's going to be like a quicksand, and you will forever get involved in all this. I am all for this irretrievable breakdown. I am all for compensating the weaker part, that is the wife generally, because the man will ask for this divorce. Provide some method by which you have handsome compensation for the woman on the basis of some formula, break the umbilical cord, tell her to have this money, children.
But not, you don't support 50% of marital
No, because
property.
it's not going to work. And if it works, it's going to take half the life is gone in divorces from lower court to Supreme Court.